Hey guys, Mr. 1000 here. Today is Friday the 26th or 27th, I think. And it is 10 o'clock at night. And yesterday I finished playing the game of Luigi's Mansion 3. I'd done a whole marathon of playing Luigi's Mansion. These are my gaming glasses, just to let you know. They're not actual glasses, they're just my gaming glasses when I'm playing the games. And so I thought that I make this video of my thoughts about all the whole games in general. So first off, we'll go with Luigi's Mansion. When I first heard of this game or saw it, I had no idea who this guy was. But then later on, I realized, oh, he knows Mario because he said Mario's name in the game. And then later on, I realized that, oh, they're brothers. So I thought he was the oldest because he's taller, but no, he's not. He's actually the youngest, which everyone knows, but yeah. And then later on, I found out that it's kind of like a Ghostbusters ripoff, but it's unique. And I like the gimmick where you use the flashlight to stung the ghost and use the vacuum to suck him up and stuff. Also, I like the mansion, design, and the way that all the rooms are like so unique, and like every room has like something different. I had fun playing this game, and I remember I never got a good rank A growing up, but then later on I actually gotten good at it because I know what I'm supposed to get and what I'm supposed to do, which is yeah. Sorry, just having some toast with Nutella. Um, so me and my sisters played this a lot growing up. They loved this game. I love the game, and it still holds very dear to my heart. This is actually the original game that I got. I had it with me ever since growing up, and I will always keep this with me, and I will never get rid of it. And then through the years, and I always thought this was only going to be Luigi's only game until years later, back in 2013, I was in middle school, I think, and came out Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is a complete surprise to me. Well, in different countries it's called Luigi's Mansion 2, but in America it's called Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on the 3DS. Anyway, it has the same feeling as Luigi's Mansion, but it's on handheld. But the only difference is that this is like mission based, and you go in 5 mansions, and then you. Sorry if I'm not saying things right. Just trying to think what I'm trying to say, and you just capturing the ghost is kind of different too. Instead of like you just like turn the light off, you just turn it on and turn it off and on like in the first game. It's a strobe light, a strobe bulb that they use. You use a flash, you catch the ghost, and then you just pull back to get a good gauge to suck them up instead of like the first game, which was really cool and unique. And then they got rid of the medallions that they had in the first game, but yeah, it's a different game, and there's some different ghosts that were different from the first one. It's like, and then basically you just like gotta find Dark Moon pieces to put it back together to fix the ghost from being rampageous. And surprise, surprise, King Boo returns, which he was run from in the first game, but then he got released in the second game. Don't know how. Well, he explained later, but yeah. And then I beat the game. It was good. I enjoyed it. I will say that there's some stuff in the game that's kind of difficult. I can't pinpoint them. I'd probably say the Big Boo boss level was difficult because trying to get all the boos in that train was kind of difficult, and they just kept going. It's like the Boolossus level too. I should have mentioned that the Boolossus was a pain in the ass to get through, because every time I try to catch those fucking boos, They always just keep moving away from the ice, and you gotta like wait until they come close to you. That's just annoying as hell. But yeah, I've conquered it, so and I got it's easy to get through it. So yeah, back to this. The big boo boss level. Yeah, this, you gotta get in the train and all that. It was difficult, but also I think in the almost the last missions where you like got to go through the treacherous mansion, you gotta suck up all the ghosts that came out of the portal, and because you go to those areas, there's like green and then yellow and comes red. I think there was a time limit on it in it too, but I'm not sure. It's been a while since I played the 3DS version, but I beaten it, and it's actually a good game. But even though it's completely different than the first game, it's still good because you could still like roam around. But it's like mission based, so it's kind of not like free roam, but it's still kind of like same. And overall, it's actually a good game, and I really enjoyed playing it. And then I thought this was going to be the only Luigi's Mansion game. They only got like two, but then years later, we've got a remastered version on the 3DS, which is the first game for. And I was kind of like surprised when I saw that, and like I don't know how they were going to do that, but they actually did it, and it was actually all kind of awesome. It's kind of like the first game, except there's some differences in it. The graphics are different, good, better, but I still prefer the old ones because you can't you can't beat this. Anyway, I played it. It plays off like the original, kind of differently, but it also explains about the Luigi and the multiplayer thing. Because if you remember in this one, you see the background of Egad's lab and the when he comes like talks to the Luigi and Egad to the past from this game, and he talks about like sending Luigi to the past and then helping Luigi from this. So it's like a different timeline and stuff, but also the mansion ranks are kind of different too, and the gallery ghost pictures are different too, which I feel actually I prefer these gallery picture ghosts, the frames, over these ones, because these ones you can change them like bronze, silver, gold, and then platinum in the mansions too. They also have like pictures of like the ghosts that you capture through the games, like Golden Ghost, Pink Punchers, and then it shows the boos and their names as well. And it also shows the mansions, like you get each different rank, and then you could change the pictures and all that. So yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. I did beat it, so yeah, it was the same as Luigi's Mansion, but in the 3DS. But I still liked it, and I beat it, and it's cool. But the controls, you're gonna have to need a second stick pad, because playing it like normally, like on Luigi's Mansion 2, is really difficult and really hard to play. But I've beaten it, and it's good. And then I thought that would be it, but then a year later, we get Luigi's Mansion 3. Which is completely different, because it has nothing to do with a mansion. It has to do with a big-ass hotel with different floors. And yes, the main boss is King Boo again. But it also features Luigi, and it also takes a reference to this. But I will say that it is like free roaming in the first game, because in free roaming, it's okay. In the first game, you can, in different areas, you can free roam, you get further ahead and stuff, but like, okay, in area 1, you're just like stuck in the first area and you can't go anywhere. And then area 2, you can go to the second area, but you're stuck and you can't go anywhere. Then third area, you go to the third area, you kind of go over there and you're stuck there, you can't go anywhere else. Then you go to the fourth area, then you just go ahead and go on fourth. So yeah, it's like getting more areas unlocked so you can roam around freely. It's kind of like that. But then also this game, it's not like that, but it's kind of like it, but not a whole lot, because you got like different missions, and it's like sometimes it's not how the same going back to the mansion. Like there's some differences, minor differences, like with the cobwebs and then all that. But it's still good. I still liked it. I still had fun playing it. And then this one, yeah, it's like the same thing as the first one, like the. But then you actually, there's a difference to this one. Like you go back to the lab, because in the GameCube version you couldn't go back to the lab, but in this version, the 3DS one, you can go to the front door of the mansion and just have the option to go back to the lab, which I find it kind of like cool. And then this one, you're stuck inside the hotel, and then you're just Got the lab in the burst basement 1. And stuff. Sorry. Just trying to think what the saying would do. Sorry, just trying to eat. So, yeah. And sorry. Hungry. Anyway, I know that what I'm talking about probably doesn't make any sense, what I'm saying. I have a disability. I can't say things right, but I try. Anyway, yeah. Trying to collect all the buttons to go to each floor is kind of unique too. It doesn't have you go back to the lab. Well, you do sometimes go back to the lab, but this time you can freely, you can go back to the lab anytime you want. It's like you can choose to or choose not to. You just keep going. And then you get to each floor, you capture the staff ghost, and then you just get the buttons and then all that. Now, and it's really fun to play this, and sometimes the gems are really hard to find in this game because you saw in the videos that I had to stop recording and then go back to watching other videos to figure out where the hell they are and then all that. But I found all of them and I got all the boosts too and beating it, even though if I got a rank C, but I really don't care. I only cared about getting a rank A in this one because when I made a video 7 years ago playing this game, I only got a rank D or B. I kind of forgot. I have to go back and watch the video again. But I wanted to redemption. I wanted to redeem myself to actually doing good, and I did, and I'm glad I did that. And then I decided to do the second game, and then do the third game, and then all that's done. Well, and then didn't think there was going to be another game for Luigi's Mansion. Then they decided to release an HD version. This Luigi's Mansion 2 HD instead of the Dark Moon. It's actually called Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, which I find kind of interesting. They decided to call it that, but I'm not complaining. Anyway, yeah, it plays out like the same as Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS, except it's on the Switch, and it plays out the same way, but it's so cool. It has high definition HD. There's some small details, like in this cover art. You can actually see in his overalls, there's some stitching on it. But in the 3DS version overalls, you do not see stitching on it, which I find kind of unique why they did that. But oh yeah, his mustache too. You can see in the 3DS, it's smooth his mustache, but in the Switch, you can see it's it's like a detailed mustache. Anyway, yeah, and also finding the gemstones in this was kind of hard too. That's why when I first got it, I had to play through it to know what I'm doing, where I'm getting to. And then when I came back from what I was doing, I played it. And then there we go. So I know people sometimes have different opinions about Luigi's Mansion. They say sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but I just love it. I love everything about it. It's just like growing up playing. It's like imagining yourself being in that situation and you just want to capture some ghosts. I just find that kind of cool. And I'm glad that I had a chance to record myself playing all 3 games, even though if this wasn't originally on the 3DS. I tried to, but it just didn't work out those years ago. But I'm glad that I got a chance to play it on the Switch. And I think that if there might be a 4th one, that'd be cool. But if there's not, then that's probably it. I don't know if there should be a 4th one or not, but if there is, that's pretty cool. But I will say, I do have some complaints about the games. In Luigi's Mansion 1, the Boo Losses level is so irritating because you gotta freeze the boos and you gotta suck them with a vacuum, and then after a little while, they just start getting smarter and getting away from you. And it's really hard for them to catch you. And then there are some of the portrait ghosts that are kind of difficult as hell too. I might have to edit myself from eating. Edit myself out from eating. And because you try to like get them like perfect one goes, but then you kind of like mess up, and then I also find that collecting the items, like Mario's items throughout the whole mansion, and then go back to the fortune teller ghost to explain, to give her the items so she can like tell you what happens going on, is really tedious because it just takes a long time to do. Like if you get all the items and just do it, it's just so repetitive and all that. And I I will say, when when you shoot when you get the star item, when you try to shoot a projectile thing to the moon, that was difficult as hell on the GameCube. It was also fucking difficult to do on the 3DS. Really, really difficult to get a perfect aim to shoot that on the moon. And then there's the boos. Yes, the boos are annoying as well too, because when you first start collecting the boos, they got small health. That's kind of easy to go through. But then when you collect more and more boos, they just get more difficult. They got like 300 health, and then you got to go like every single room, and, and like when they leave a room, you got to go after them, and then they're in a dark room, and it's hard to collect them, and then they go fast to a different room, and then you got to go after them, and then you go to that room, and they're there, and then you go back and forth, and then they go into a room where you can't go to yet because it's not unlocked. So you got to wait, you got to leave, go get the key to go open the door, and then you just got to find the boos again. I just find that kind of annoying, especially when you're going for when you get the last boo 50. He's like in the Vincent Van Gogh's room, and he's like 300, and he goes back and forth, out and in, out, in and out, and it's so fucking annoying. But it's worth it at the end to get that 100% and that gem it awards you with. And also, there's probably some secrets in Luigi's Mansion that I didn't know about, like the secret rooms that it was behind that little small mouse hole. Like you see right here in the back of this case, like you see right here, that's the actual room. I didn't know. I thought it was like the room when you fall down the chimney. I thought that was that room, but then later on, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that room existed. Wow. So, yeah, that's. And also, make sure that you have a game. This is a funny story. Make sure you have a memory card when you play Luigi's Mansion, because if you don't and you just play it in one sitting and you fucking die, you gotta start that shit all over again without saving. That happened to me when I was growing up. That happened to me once. I played the game. I was at the King Boo. I was at the final boss. I was at King Boo section, and I was almost done, and then I fucking died, and I had to start all over again, and that pissed me the fuck off. But I was young, so yeah, what can you do? But luckily I have a memory card now, so I don't have to worry about that. And that's basically all the complaints I've had with Luigi's Mansion, but it's a good game. I love it. I give it a 10 out of 10 because, well, I think, in my opinion, I think I give it a 10 out of 10 because it's a good game, even though there's some flaws in it. I also like people make mods of it. That's cool and stuff. And then Luigi's Mansion Dark. Let's go to Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Let's see if there's any complaints. I will say that finding all the gems in this game is really difficult if you don't know where the fucking look. And also, like the skyscraper, the stair-scraper mode. I get it. That's a good idea. It's cool. Like you can play multiplayer online. But if you want to get all the secret ghosts or hidden ghosts collectibles to have on your display thing, that's gonna take some long ass time to grind and all that. And frankly, I don't have the patience or the time to do that. But if you want it to, I might do it sometime, like rarely, but go ahead. More power to you, but not to me. I can't do it. And the big boo section, I did talk about the train, and like you try to suck the boos and then you gotta like fling them into the train. It's like difficult. Sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. It just tedious as all hell. And then there's the, let's see what else is there. Hang on, you gotta give me a second to think here. I guess, oh yeah, like the missions, you just gotta like you gotta like when you're done. I get it. Like when you're done with a mission, you gotta go back to the lab, and then you go after the when you go back to the lab, you like get a new mission, and you go back to the place you were. Go, you can just like stay at your place where you were. That's what I don't understand, but I guess that's just how it works in the game. But yeah, and also the boos weren't so difficult either because in this game the boos you actually like shine a dark light on them and then you pull their tongue and then just sling back and sling like a bouncy ball around the place. And it's kind of nice change from the first game. Not a whole lot of boos though. In the first one there was 50, and I think in the second one there's 32. That's my guess, but yeah. And the King Boo boss level is kind of tedious if you don't know what the hell you're doing, but when you actually know what you're doing, you actually get through it. And so overall, I would give Luigi's Mansion 2 a 10 out of 10 as well, even though that it was a handheld device. But I'm glad that they put it on the Switch, and it was really fun to play. And then Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, I will say that it's not a bad game. Don't get me wrong, I love the game. But there's some things that are just that I have some problems with. Like the gems. You gotta know where the gems are and all that stuff. And then it's like, okay, like when you get done with a level floor, you could leave that floor. But then sometimes later on, you got to go back to that floor to go find some gems that you probably missed, or probably find a boo you didn't know was actually there. And I just find that annoying because, I mean, yeah, in Luigi's Mansion 1, you go in each different room that you were in to find a boo. And the same could be said for Luigi's Mansion 2. Like, you got to go back into a mission to find the boo that you were in. And then Luigi's Mansion 3, you go to different floors to find the boo that you were in. I kind of forgot how many boos were on the third game. I'll put a number here and see that. I'll put Luigi's Mansion 1, how many numbers were there? Boos. And Luigi's Mansion 2, how many numbers were there for the boos? And Luigi's Mansion 3, how many numbers were there for the boos? So that's all the boos that were from all the games. And I know that the Boo Losses is in it, the third game, but it's like the Scare Scraper, but I'm not going to do that because it's probably the same thing like I said of the second game. I got no time and patience to do that. And also, I kind of like that you have to save Mario not once, not twice, but 3 times. Actually, the first time you got to save Mario because because he went there and he's not there. The second time you didn't even know it until you're like almost at the end of the game. It should have been getting clues about what the hell happened. And in the third game, yeah, you got to save Mario again too, but also with Princess Peach and with the Toads as well. Kind of like with the second game, you save the Toads, but not in the first game. But yeah, sorry. So I would give. No wait. I also say that Luigi's Mansion 3, I don't know. It was just kind of like going back, like when you got to go back to a floor to do something. I find that kind of like tedious. Like why they could just keep going up, 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 and then just not go back to the same floor. Takes a while to get to. They should have had like the same gimmick as Luigi's Mansion 1, where you take it when you're like have the Game Boy Horror, you look at the mirror, then you press zoom on it, and then it just teleports you back to the main lobby. They should have had that, but they didn't have that on the second or third game, but oh well. But I would give Luigi's Mansion 3 a 10 out of 10 as well, even though if it's... No. So what is my closing thoughts on this? Well, I think that what they did back then was actually really unique, because this was Luigi's Mansion first debut of a game for himself. And excluding Miss Mario's Missing, because that doesn't count. And I just find it unique because this is not a Mario game. This is Luigi's game, and we also had a year of Luigi, and it dedicated to everything about Luigi. And I don't think we give Luigi enough love, and I think he deserves the love that he needs. And so, just wanted to say that if you ever go buy Luigi's Mansion, play it yourself, and just know that it may not be good sometimes. You may not like it, you may like it. Just give it a chance, and you might enjoy playing it. And I want to thank my sisters, Cheyenne and Sissy, that played a game with me every hour playing it, and it was just so fun playing it. I want to thank them. I want to dedicate this to them, and know that no matter what, that I will always have a special place of Luigi in my heart. And I hope he has a special place in your guys' heart too. And so, and also that I'm going to take a break from making videos, and just take a break and figure out what to do next. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this video is probably it's not my professional wise, but it's all you're gonna get because of the way I am. But what can you do? Anyway, this is Mr. Thousand. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Also, one more thing before I go. I just wanted to say thank you, Luigi, for being a part of my childhood.